There we go. Why is that not? Shit. Where'd my docs go? Fuck. What is my username again? Nick. That's my username. You would Google maybe? How do I cancel? All right, live top chat, live chat. Finally, you're here. Well, I had to finish dinner. Okay, got the live chat up. All right, let me get TikTok live going. Flip the camera. Why is this not? Why don't you go this way? Missed you. We're back up, baby. We're back up. Trying to get TikTok live set up. Just give me a second. Come on. Having some technical difficulties right now. Okay. That should be fine. Come on. There we go. Okay. Is that good? Getting the TikTok live set up. It's on my phone, so it's, for whatever reason, streaming on PC on the TikTok live sucks. Okay. Let's go live there. We got ourselves some bourbon, boys. Drinking a little Basil Hayden tonight. How are y'all doing? A little late to the live. I agree. A little late to the live, but nonetheless, we are here. We are here and ready. Cubicon, what's going on? Ahmed, what's going on? Sparse said 1 million subscribers coming very soon, mark my words. That would be awesome. Getting to 1 million subscribers would be awesome. What's up, Ahmed? How are you? Having a little bourbon tonight on this fine Sunday. Got a little Basil Hayden. Hola, what's up, Adri? QNT. Yeah, we can look at QNT, but yeah, Sparse, if we can get to 1 million subscribers on YouTube, that'd be dope. That would be awesome. I would love that. Far from the goal, but it's achievable. It's definitely achievable. Just got to stick to, just be consistent. That's all you got to do. Be consistent. Bill said, nice. Gala, please. Yeah, we could look at Gala. The sunglasses. Yes, sir. Basil Hayden Toast is one of my favorites. It's good. I know I'm a little late to the stream today, but had to eat dinner, and then we were finishing the selection Sunday for March Madness, and it's unfortunate. Auburn did not make it this year. So I am not necessarily happy about it, but it is what it is. Trump coin? Yeah, we can look at Trump coin. Could you look into Sol on 4 hour? Yeah, let's look at Sol. Let me flip my... I didn't buy any F last Sunday. Did I miss my chance? What's up, Quicksilver? What's going on? I mean, for me, I'm just being patient. I do think, based on the structure, we still have downside. And let's start with Bitcoin and then we can go to Sol. We can start with Bitcoin and then go to Sol. Here in Spain, 12:23. I have to wait. Yeah, my apologies. I was a little late today. Let me flip my screen. Flip camera. There we go. So we can already see Bitcoin doing its thing, right? We're still well within, let me change the color of these so you can see it more clearly. So the way that Elliott Wave Theory works, right, is you have waves, and there's obviously typical fib retracements for all of these waves. We still haven't even breached the 0.382, and depending on what price action does here, this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move down on the lower time frame. If you go to the 4 hour, for example, let me go to the 4 hour. If you go to this, I mean, it definitely has resemblances of a one, like the wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, and then you have an A, B, and then C structure. But even on the 4 hour right now, this could be an A wave. This could be a 3 wave B. Or no, that wouldn't, no, hold on. We would have A wave, then A, B, C, B wave, and then a C wave. And then we have an A wave, another wave kind of starting out for a B wave, and could get a C wave. So we're just kind of waiting for this price action to do its thing. There's really no clear indication either way of what it's going to do. We just got to be patient because this can be a wave 2, you know, wave 1 with a wave 2. But again, if price invalidates this level and pumps up, then for me, that's just a B wave. And we still have until 87,193 or 87,193 all the way up at this level right here to even invalidate the structure of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This complex 4 is obviously, it's just very complex, right? You just have a bunch of just choppy 3-wave movements. And yeah, we had an impulse down, but that could be the start of a zigzag formation, which means this is what it looks like. Hold on. Let me get my book so you guys can see so that you can like see what I'm talking about. So you have this structure. It's called basically a zigzag. It's called a simple correction. So you get a 5-wave move down, a 3-wave move up, and then another 5-wave move down. So this could be the start of a A-wave zigzag formation with a B-wave bounce, and then we get a C-wave here. So we just have to be patient. There's no reason for us to fuss right now. There's no reason for us to think anything different. I think that's the hardest part when it comes to trading and when it comes to investing is every big, especially with Bitcoin, because it's so volatile, you get these big, 10% swings up, 10% swings down. And every time it swings up, people jump the gun and say the bottom's in. Then when it jumps down, they say, oh, bottom's not in. So you got to really try your best to eliminate your emotions because they're going to get the best of you and they're going to influence your decision making. This is why having a strategy is so important. Until this level is broken up here, until this level is broken, the 87,193, until that level is broken, we still have one more dump. So if price continues pushing up to 78, even 83, we're fine. We're still in the valid structure, and people are going to freak out if that happens because they're going to say, I missed the bottom. But again, you have to pay attention to the structure, not necessarily your emotions, which are going to get the best of you. If 87,193 is broken, then yes, this would be an invalid wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 structure. So this meaning the 1, 2, the 3, 4, and then the final leg 5 would be invalidated because of basically the structure being invalidated. But until then, we're still in corrective mode. So I know it takes a lot of time. It sucks. It's not necessarily the best position you want to be in, right? And it's not Bitcoin will dump again. Yeah, I mean, that's based on the structure and what I'm looking at. Like if I zoom out here just a little bit, let me move this out of the way just so it's clear. Like if you look at it from the full structure standpoint, let me get everything in here for you guys. There's no reason to panic at these levels because we have the 1, we have the 2, the 3, the 4, and then we're in the 5th. And of the 5, we've only had a wave 1, 2, 3. This is the 4, and then we need one more dump lower. So I know that might, I might take your decision making one way or the other, but at the end of the day, you can't influence or you cannot decide what price action is going to do because you just got to let it unfold. Like, yeah, if 74,000 gets broken, okay. If we pump up to 78 and then we dump, that's fine. Like this would just be an A wave, a B wave, bounce, and then maybe we get a C wave or whatever this structure turns out to be. As long as 87,000 doesn't get broken, the next target's down. Let me see here. Classic bull flag to 85. I mean, it's possible if you view this as a bull flag, but I wouldn't. Well, I guess it depends on where you're structuring your bull flag, but this for me is not a bull flag. That doesn't look like a bull flag to me. And I don't trade patterns. Like I just trade. Well, I guess if Elliott Wave Theory is a pattern, then I guess I trade that. But has broken past the last high? Has it? Let me see. Because from what I was seeing before, it didn't. It's very close, but no, it didn't break. So if you put this here, we're very close, but it didn't break. Even if I zoom in on this a little bit more, we're still below that line. So it didn't break yet, but you know, it's price is continuing to push up to that level. So it is possible that it breaks. But again, until the invalidation levels are hit, no matter how high this thing pushes, if it, you know, pushes to 70, hold on. Let me get to the bottom of wave 2, to the bottom of wave 3. As long as price, let me move this in a little bit more. Let me get this out of the way. So if you look at the structure itself, right? Like if you just look at the structure, typically wave 3s pull back to the 0.382, right? Which you're kind of seeing it, you know, come back to this level again. It still can pass to the 0.5. It still can pass to the 0.618. It can even go all the way to the 0.786. That isn't off the table. And if you look at the wave 1, I mean, how far did the wave... So the wave... And that would actually make sense because there's a thing called alternative theory in Elliott Wave. And when you have a wave 1 like this, that only pull back to, you know, the 0.382, the wave 4 will typically retrace a lot further. So I wouldn't be surprised if price does decide that it's going to pull back to maybe the 0.5 or maybe the 0.618. It would make sense just because we'd have an alternative, meaning the wave 2 was shallow, so the wave 4 might be deeper. And that's fine. I mean, if we pull back to 75, that's fine. If we pull back to 78, that's fine. If we pull back to 83, that's fine. The big level we'd want to look out for is the 87,193. If that's not broken, then the next probability is a dump. So is Bitcoin going down or up? Based on the structure, down. So we still need one more leg down. I know that every time price swings 5 or 10%, everyone loses their shit. But again, until our levels are broken, the next move is down. So whatever price decides to do in this range, it's all just corrective. Sparse, yeah, we can look at Hood again. What brokerage do you use? I use TD Ameritrade, which I think is Charles Schwab. Raj, what's going on, man? We are going up. However, again, this is just choppy corrective. So I hate being, I'm not trying to be the bearer of bad news. Like, I don't want to be the person that's continually saying like, hey, we're going to dump. Like, that's just structurally what we're due for. We're just due for one more leg lower. I know that stinks and people don't want to hear it. And, you know, maybe a lot of people have put a ton of money into crypto and they may be down on their position. So obviously you want it to go up to be in the positive. But the only thing that you can do is take your emotions out of it. I mean, that's what got you there in the first place, is emotionally investing in a crypto or investing in a stock because, you know, someone told you to and you got to buy now. FOMO, it's going up. Like buy before you miss the bottom. And then what do? You buy, and then what's next? The thing dumps. So going in with a strategy is the key. You can't go in with an emotional bias to something. You have to look at the chart for what it is, and whatever it gives you, take it. Like if price is suggesting based on the structure, we have one more leg down, be patient, wait. Like, you know, don't jump into something just because someone said, oh, the bottom, you know, you're going to miss it. You know, if price doesn't dump down, you're going to miss the bottom. So what if you miss the bottom? Say you do. Say, for example, you miss this bottom and this thing just shoots up. There's so many other opportunities on the table that you can take advantage of. So don't let someone FOMO you in. Don't let someone FOMO you out. Stick to a strategy. You'll be fine. Weeks and our months away. Sucks. We have to wait. Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate, but that's the reason that this corrective structure has been going on for so long. Like, if we look at the whole structure on a monthly time frame, like this is what we've got so far. We have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're in an ABC corrective structure. And with corrections, it takes a hell of a lot longer. I'd be curious to see what the date range is from this bottom to the top of wave 5. So that's 731 days from the bottom of here to the top of here. And then how far have we been in this corrective phase? We've been in here for 455 days. So it's about half the time we've spent from basically impulsive waves to this correction. This whole zone has just driven people crazy. This whole ABC corrective structure has got people losing their minds. And that's exactly what happens in a wave 2. So we have the initial 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave 1, and then a wave 2. Everyone loses their mind in the wave 2. A bunch of fear strikes, a bunch of doubt strikes. You get emotional. You buy, you sell. You think you're going to time the bottom. You do all this stuff, and then lo and behold, if you had a little patience, the next move is up. So while this is a bottom short term for me, the next target is 200. So I'm just being patient. Like, I'm not trying to time the bottom perfectly, but I'm trying to allow structure to take place and allow price to come to me. Like, I would rather wait based on the structure for this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wait for the price to dump, and then build a position in the 60 to 50K region, which is what my next targets are based on, I did that wrong, hold on. Based on the next zone being the 60 to 50K. Between this zone, like this whole zone right here is when I'm gonna start dollar cost averaging in and just adding to my position. So until that happens, I'm just in patience mode. And I mean, granted, I have the benefit of the doubt that I bought Bitcoin back in 2022 and 2023. So I am in the trade. So I'm just waiting to buy more. So I'm not necessarily freaking out with every dump because I already am in. But that, for those of you out there that are looking to get in, based on the structure, I would personally wait. Sorry, I missed a lot of these comments. Let me scroll up here. Let me see. Could be a bear flag. Could pop. I mean, for me, the structure just points it down. Miko said, nope, we're going to 100K. I mean, that's what everyone told me back here. Everyone told me back here that, you know, we're going to continue pumping and we're going all the way up to 200K. And then I said, you know, just structurally wise, all we've had so far is a 1, 2, a 3. We're in the 4, and we should expect one more dump lower. Everyone was saying I was wrong, and then we got the dump, and then they're like, oh, wait, actually, you were kind of right. We're going to 30K. And then while everyone's telling me we're going to 30K, I'm saying we're just going to 60 to 50, and then they're going to tell me I'm wrong. So, again, it's not about being right or wrong. It's about sticking to a strategy. Wow, a year of downside, you guys still think we're going down further? I mean, we're not going down in terms of, like, what most people think. I mean, most people think we're going to do this. And this is where I push back on those people because I'm not in that camp. Most people think we're just going to have a little bounce and then we're going to go down to 30K or 20K or 12K or whatever the targets are that people have, is they think we're going to have a little bounce and then a dump. For me personally, off of these lows, I think we're going to have an impulsive structure that looks like this up to 200K. So I am bullish long term, but first the correction has to happen just based on the structure. Here we go. What's up, healthcare? How's it going, man? Sorry I was late today. I was finishing up dinner and then I was watching a movie and then I was just relaxing. What do you think about Sol? We can go to Sol. Nick, what if it breaks 90? What's next? Well, if it breaks 90, then we'll have to reevaluate this structure. But if it breaks 90, then the whole 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 structure would be invalidated. So we'd have to look at it again. Typical Sunday pump. I wonder what Tau looks like. We can look at Tau. Let it chop. I'm a Q-Lin. Yeah, what's up, Matt? How's it going, man? Mike said I've been sidelined since December 2024. I've mastered patience at this point. I don't know why, Matt. That made me laugh. So that was good. Jacob said your technical analysis is on point, bro. Thanks, Jacob. I appreciate that. The bottom is in. There's too much macro news that it's bullish. I mean, hey, I don't trade news. News will manipulate you. I trade structure, not news, because typically in positions up here, they'll have really good news and then it'll dump. Down here, they'll have really bad news and then it'll pump. I don't trade news. News is all a narrative for me. It's all about structure. Good afternoon, everyone. Hope all is well. What's up, Mike? How's it going, man? Is ETH a good investment? I mean, I do have one more leg lower for ETH around 1700 to 1400. That's my next target for them. The youngsters say up and the OGs say we can down. I guess that's fair. Are you meme insider? No, I don't trade memes. I don't do any of that bullshit. I think that's all just rug pulls and scams, so I avoid that. When will Bitcoin hit the 60K zone back up? So I don't trade time as well. I only trade... I I only trade structure, so I don't go off of news. I don't go off of time. It's so hard to predict time, guys, and there's no strategy out there. Don't let time, because time brings added stress, and I'll tell you why. If you go to the monthly time frame, right, this whole structure has been on. If you're anticipating, I mean, my next target's based on the structure is 200. If you're thinking that 200 is going to be hit in 3 months, and we're just immediately going to pump to 200K, what happens when we don't get to 200K in 3 months? Well, you get stressed, you get anxious, you get worried, you get emotional because your target wasn't hit in a certain amount of time. And then what happens? You don't know, you don't think clearly, you could sell your position at a wrong time. Just wait until it hits the targets and then sell. Don't trade time. Time's just going to add added stress that you don't need. What happens after it goes to 200K? How low can it go after 200K? I mean, for me, based on the structure, for this being the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave 1, we're in the 2, the 3 targets the 1.618, and if that happens, for me, if we drop down to say 55 and then we target 200K, that's basically the base case. The next target on it would be the 0.382 at about 150. We could also drop to 130, but somewhere in the 150 to like 112 range would be a good bottoming zone. But it all depends. If 200's hit, if we extend, you know, there's a lot of different variables. So I just say let price action do its thing. But the logical next step, if we go to 200, we'll get an ABC type correction like this towards the 0.382, possibly the 0.5, around 150 to 130 would be the next zone. That would be a wave 4. There's a time-based Fibonacci tool, but it's not as accurate. Yeah, I don't use that one. I've heard it before, but yeah, again, time is so hard. Reading the market and reading the structure is already hard enough, so I try to stick to it and make it as simple as possible. 60 to 50K is my next zone, yes. Okay, so let's jump over to Sol, because I know there's a lot of Sol. And with that being said, I am drinking a little bourbon today, so if you guys are having a little nightcap, cheers to y'all. I'm having a little Basil Hayden toast today. It's a nice bourbon if you haven't tried it. So let's go to Sol, and let's analyze some Sol today, because I know there's a lot of questions about Sol. Cheers. Yeah, if you guys are having anything, cheers to y'all. Maker's Mark, okay, Maker's Mark. I'm not a big Maker's Mark guy, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not. I like Basil Hayden. I like what's the other one I like? I can't think of the name. It has the Basil Hayden toast is good. Bland's I like Bland's too. I'm trying to think of another one. I can't remember the name. Woodford Double Oaked. I like that one too. Woodford Double Oaked. Paul said cheer. Eagle Rare. I like some Eagle Rare, Mark. I like some Eagle Rare. So on the bigger time frame on Sol, this is kind of the analysis we have so far. We have a massive wave 1, the wave 2, and then we're currently in the wave 3. And of the wave 3 so far, we've had an initial 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave 1. We're in the 2, and then the next target for me on Solana is 524. On the smaller time frame, let me zoom into this. So on the smaller time frame, this is kind of what the structure looks like, right? We have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're currently in the ABC corrective structure down. So we have the A wave, the B wave, and then we're kind of in this C wave, right? And of the C wave, to me, it looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've had the initial wave 1, the 2, the 3 here, the 4, and then we're in the final leg 5. It kind of looks similar to Bitcoin, where we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a 5 developing. My next targets on the smaller time frame on Solana are between basically $70 and $50. Somewhere in this $70 to $50 range is what I have for the bottom, and then 524 is next after that. That's my next targets, at least in the smaller time frame, based on this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 structure. The 5th wave could be done already. I mean, possibly, but of the 5th wave, we only have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and we still need one more. So in order for it to fulfill the rules, we need to have a 5-wave move down, and we've only had a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a 5. So we need one more leg. Do you advise investing long-term on Bitcoin or in Sol after the big last drop? I mean, again, I don't have my series licenses anymore. I used to be a financial advisor, so I did have, my Series 6, my Series 63. I was actually studying for my Series 7. I was a financial advisor for a decent amount of years. I don't have that license anymore, so I can't legally provide investment advice. When I did have my licenses, it would be a different story, but I transitioned jobs and just let that thing go away. So legally, I can't give investment advice, but I can give my opinion. I think it all depends on your investment strategy. It all depends on your time horizon. It depends on a lot of different factors, risk tolerance. It depends on a lot of different things. I mean, from a structure standpoint on Solana, I mean, if we go down to 60 and we target 500, that's what, a 9 to 10x, somewhere in that range. And for me, Bitcoin has a target of 55 to 200. So, you're looking at a maybe 9 to 10x versus I don't know, 4x on Bitcoin. So it really just depends if you can tolerate more risk. I mean, Solana at these levels is a pretty good buy, I would say, but it really just depends. And I would focus less on max profit. I would focus more on investing in quality positions regardless of the profit, because you can get too lost in trying to find multiples of 10x's, 5x's, 20x's, 30x's, and then you might invest in something that's highly speculative and then it goes to zero because you were chasing multiples, rather than looking at the solid, safe investment that people are like, well, you can't invest in Bitcoin because you're not going to make as much money on this as you would in this meme coin. Like, this meme coin's a 50x potential, you're going to make a lot more, but there carries a higher risk with an investment with a smaller market cap, with higher volatility, with less sort of traction, if that is. So I would focus on just making really solid investments and structurally wise, evaluating it based on a strategy. For me, it's Elliott Wave Theory. If you have another one that you'd like to use that. But I would focus more on just making the high confident bet rather than chasing multiples. That would be my advice, or my opinion rather. Yeah, we can look at Ethereum. VeChain. We can look at VeChain. Yeah, we can look at VeChain. We're going to look at Hood first because Sparsh had wanted to look at Hood. Sparsh, don't worry, buddy. I didn't forget about you. We are going to look at Hood until this thing hits my targets. We'll look at Hood every single live stream until this thing hits my next targets at... shit, I erased it. Hold on. Let me get that back on. Now, for me, Hood is in a really good position to make it. Like, Hood has really good earnings. Obviously, it's a stock, so it has all the fundamentals behind it. You can get some fundamentals on crypto, but again, a lot of them are harder to get. But my next target's 63 on here. So my next target on Hood is 300 for the Wave 3, and then my shorter term target we can dive into it in a second. But for me, Hood is a really good, again, my opinion, Hood is at a really good risk to reward from right here. Hey Nick, hope you're doing well, mate. I am, Ash. How are you doing? Hope your weekend's been pretty well. Okay, thanks for your opinion. You were the best, man. Keep it up. I appreciate that anime review. I think it's anime review. Yeah, thank you for that. I appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, for me, I would just focus on making solid investments because you can compound that growth. Like, say, for example, you invest in Robinhood, right? And it takes, 1 to 3 years to complete this sort of, maybe 5, whatever, however long it takes, right? You invest, $1,000 here, you make a 5x. Now you got 5,000. Then you put that, in another investment at a solid thing, you make another 5x, and now you got 25. And then you just keep rinsing and repeating. And eventually you have a bigger portfolio that, took you years, but you're going to have a lot more knowledge and a lot more confidence in investing. That's just my personal opinion. But on Robinhood, we do have a really clean, like, if you look at these wave counts, we have a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5, and then we're in the ABC2. And on the daily chart, to me, we are approaching the bottoming level, but for me, this looks like a A, B, C, A wave, another A, and then a B, and then a C for a B wave, and then we're in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move down. So we basically have a 3-wave movement, another 3-wave movement, and then a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 movement. My next zones for Robinhood are between $70 and $63. Again, prices are around 73 right now. So my next retrace is somewhere between $70 to $63 at between the 1 and the 1.618. And then after that, 300 is my next target on Robinhood. So a little bit more downside, and then 300's next. I mean, earnings on this stock have been really good. From a fundamental standpoint, I mean, they're doing a lot of things right. So I think Robinhood is in a really good position to make a big move. And again, 300 is the base case for a wave 3. It could extend to 356. It also could extend to 446. It really just depends on how the structure develops over the next, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move up. It could go more extended, but high confident target is 300 next, based on that structure. So like Hood looks really good right now. For me, MSTR looks really good. So if you look at their structure too, it's very similar to Robinhood in the sense that we have a really clean 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move up with an ABC. I'm waiting on MSTR. I have not purchased MSTR yet. I still am waiting for one more dip lower. So my next target on MSTR is hold on. What was my next target? I think it was $80 to $100 was my next target. Yeah, 100 to about 77. Between this zone, this is when I'm looking to pick up MSTR, is between 177. And then my next target on MSTR is 962. So I'm looking to pick it up short term in like the $100 to $70 range and then ride it to 962. It's a really clean chart. The structure looks really good. And that's kind of my next phase for MSTR. Let me scroll through some of these comments. Would you expect a truncated fifth wave on the next leg down? Wave 3 felt dramatic, but was it really? Yeah, I mean on Bitcoin, we can look at Gala in a second. Yeah, we can look at Gala for sure. On Bitcoin, yes, there could be a potential of a truncated 5. I'm not ruling that out because if you look at this wave 3 right here, the wave 3 extended, hold on. The wave 3 extended down to the 2.618. So it did extend past what it typically does. Usually the wave 3 will extend to the 1.618 at 72K. Obviously we had one more dip lower to the 2.618. So it is possible that we could get a truncated 5 because of how deep the wave 3 went, but it's all going to be determined of how this price action develops. If, for example, price does not reclaim the $74,050, this could be a wave 1 with a wave 2, and then wave 3 is next. If that's the case, the next target for this wave 3 would be $60, right? It's $60. So we would have, the 1, the 2, the 3 to $60, a small pullback, and then one more leg lower, maybe to like 58. So that's structurally how it could be, but I'm just letting price action come out first before, making any decisions, because if price does reclaim 74,000, then, we continue maybe chopping up a little bit more and then have the dump, but I'm just letting price action come out first before making any decisions. Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. Gala. I thought we looked at Gala before, but let's look at Gala. I'm assuming, yeah, so I think this is Gala, right? Let me go to the weekly just so I can see the whole price action. So, okay. I mean, this is definitely a 5-wave move here. We definitely have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, this could be a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and then an extended 5th wave. That's possible, but we need to evaluate if this move has 5 subwaves, and if it doesn't, then it doesn't count. So let's go to the daily. So, I mean, this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here. So that could be a 3rd wave, but there's no, unless 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wave 1, wave 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, like structurally wise, Gala looks interesting because we definitely have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move up here. It does look like we have almost this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move up here. And then this move. And then maybe a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, it's possible. So, but now let's determine, did price retrace lower than that level is the only thing. I mean, it didn't retrace lower than this level, so technically that counts. But it just looks weird. Like on the weekly, it doesn't suggest that. I mean, maybe this is the 1, the 2. Then you have the 3 here, 4, 5. But we need to validate if that is possible or not. So that would validate that. So, I mean, yeah, technically that fits. Let me look at this other wave. I mean, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for a 5. And then you have this 1, 2, 3, wave 1, wave 2. So maybe 1 here, 2 here, 3 here, 4 here, and then 5 here. And then you have this is the 5th. And then this is the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5. Yeah, I mean, that would fulfill the rules. So, I mean, if we're going based off that, then let's go to the monthly. But that just looks weird of the starting point of it. That's the thing. So, I mean, if we're starting from here to up here to down here, I mean, technically the next target on it would be $1, but the structure just looks weird, in my opinion. It just looks weird. Can we do Airbnb? Yeah, we can look at Airbnb. But yeah, I mean, technically speaking, the next target would be $1 on this, but I wouldn't put high confidence on that, to be honest. Failed 3. Yeah, I mean, it just looks weird. Like, there's just, again, that's why when I look at charts, I want to make sure that everything looks like really clean. And if I don't feel confident in it, like I don't want to put money into it. This just looks weird because if you look at it on the monthly, it almost looks like you have an A wave, a B wave, and then this ABC. So like it just doesn't look, I mean, this is definitely corrective for sure. The only way we're going to be able to determine what's next for Gala is what happens off of these lows. If we get, 1, 2, and then a 3 and a 4 and a 5, that'll be a little bit more clear. And you'll see that on the smaller time frame. You'll get a wave 1, and then inside of this wave 1, you'll get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you get an ABC, and then you get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then an ABC, and then a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So as price action develops, it might give more high confidence to this, but I don't know. I just, based on the structure, doesn't look really, I don't really have much confidence in it, to be honest. The structure doesn't look trusting. Yeah, again, like if you look at like Hood or MSTR or Bitcoin, like when you look at the structure on the monthly, like this is, for example, like what I'm talking about is when you look at Bitcoin, it just structurally wise, it looks so much more visible. Like you really have clean waves 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Like it's very visible on the chart, right? You don't have to think about it. You see a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then you see this big ABC corrective structure. So for me, that's why I just have more confidence in Bitcoin. And again, it's a larger asset, so there's less volatility than, a Gala. But I think from a fundamental standpoint, I heard a lot of things about like Gala's CEO doing something, and there was some fundamental shit with Gala going on, and then they like cleaned it up. So I don't know too much about it, but I just would be less trusting in it. That's just where I'm at. Pengu? Yeah, we could do Pengu. Hello there. Are you interested in investing on stock market? Send a DM. Don't send that guy a DM. That looks like a scam. Don't send that guy a DM. Right. I want structure that I ain't even got to pull a fib on to tell it's moving. It's moving good. Yeah, 100%, Jacob. 100%. I like Circle Internet Group. I don't know what their chart looks like though. Yeah, I mean, from a fundamental standpoint, Circle looks good. Let's do Tau. Doge, please. Let's do, actually, Tau was talked about early, so let's do Tau. Then we can do, after Tau, let's go to Circle, and then we'll do Airbnb. Where was the chart for Tau that I was using? I think it was the Mexi one. Yeah. So on Tau, it does have, if you go to the weekly, on Tau, it does have, like a 5-wave move on Tau. You have this like, wave 1 here, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you do have a 5-wave movement, and then this massive just corrective movement for Tau. Like it's just a bunch of complex sort of structure. You have what almost looks like an A wave, a B wave, a C wave, a D wave, and then this E wave. So I'm not invested in Tau. My next target for it is 1300 for Tau, meaning this was the wave 1 and this is the wave 2, and the next target for me is the wave 3 at the 1.618. Is that 1300 is my next target on Tau? I don't personally own any Tau. I know it's been kind of ripping off the lows, but I don't have any personal investment in Tau. But my next target on it's 1300. So for those of you that do own it, 1300 is my next target. Solana we already did. My next target on Solana is what was it? 535, I think is my next target. So that one looks pretty good. This bourbon's tasting pretty good too. I missed what you said. Is it dipping more first? So this one is very hard. Like, again, there's like rules with Elliott Wave Theory. Obviously, we try to follow it to the best of our ability. But when you have complex structures like this, it's very hard to tell what's next. I do think because Bitcoin is bottoming, you know, has one more leg down, I do think we see a possible retrace on Tau. You know, if we have this as the initial rip off the low and then we have a pullback, I would say just wait for the pullback and then get in. But on a weekly chart, I mean, we definitely have an A wave here, and then you have this sort of A wave, B wave, C wave, then you have this B wave, then you have another A, B, C, and then you have this A wave, B wave, C wave, and then a B wave, and then it's another 3-wave movement. Then you have this initial push off, and then you have another 3-wave movement, and then this move up, and then this looks like another A wave, B wave, C wave. So we can look at the C down here and, you know, see what it potentially looks like. But again, it's a complex structure, so it's very hard to analyze just because it's so choppy. And it's highly volatile too, so you get a lot of movements on here. But I mean, it definitely looks like we have maybe an A wave, B wave, C wave down, then another A, B, C, and then this A wave, B wave, and then we have a wave 1, 2, maybe a 3, 4, 5, and then this is the start of a 1, 2, 3. So, I mean, technically on Tau, this could be the start of an impulsive wave up. So you have the wave 1, the wave 2, the wave 3, you should get a pullback 4 and a wave 5, and then once that's complete, you'll get an ABC down. So depending on where this thing tops out next, you know, you'll get something like maybe 300 next, and you'll get a pullback to like 237 or 215, somewhere in that range. It does look like we have an impulse of wave 1 with a 2 and then a 3. And then of this, I mean, technically we are sitting at the 1.618 right now, so we might get a retrace here. I mean, looking at it in the 4-hour, I mean, it's still I mean, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, this does have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move up. So, and it's at the 1.618. The next move down would be a 3-wave down, and then another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move up. And if that happens, then we would get maybe a retracement to, hold on. Why is it not? There we go. If we retrace from here, we would probably, we would expect 248 to be next. So you would get an ABC pullback next to about 248, and then you get another impulse up, then you get an ABC corrective down of this entire move. So there might be a little bit more upside. You get a correction down to the 0.382, and then you move up. But again, like when you're doing complex corrective zones like this, it's very hard to tell when the bottom is, especially with a highly volatile asset like Tau. And I mean, from the bottom, you know, you've already retraced down to the 0.786, then you're getting a bounce. So it does look like we're bouncing here for Tau, but I do think when Bitcoin pulls back, you'll probably get a pullback, which could align with this 5-wave movement up, and then you get a wave 2 down. That could make sense. Got to pay the cheese tax on Tau. Dip then rip. I like that. What's your low on Tau? I mean, the next logical target based on the price action that we're getting right now on Tau is, this looks to be like a wave 1 off the low. We're currently in the 2. We should get a 3, and then we'll get a pullback 4, and then another 5. And then after that completes, we'll get an ABC pullback for the wave 2. Somewhere towards, 257. Well, basically once this 5-wave move's complete, so get a 3-wave move down. And the targets for that are going to be between the 0.5 and 0.618. So once this thing, completes its 5-wave move, then we'll get a pullback to somewhere in these regions, between the 0.382 to the 0.618. That for me is if you're looking to get into Tau would be at its best opportunity, best risk to reward. And then the next target would be 1300 on that. So if it does pull back, wait for it to pull back for the wave 4, we get a wave 5. Maybe we retrace to about 225 and then boom, we explode to about 1300. Everything is going up, but you said it would go down. I mean, for Bitcoin, we do have one more leg lower. Again, I can't stress this enough, guys. Every 5 to 10% pump, everyone says we're going up, but you got to pay attention to the structures, guys. You can't just look at an asset every time it pumps 5 or 10%. You got to look at the structure, and what the structure is telling us is we have one more dump lower. I'm not trying to be the bearer of bad news. I'm just telling you based on what the structure shows, we still have one more dump. So even this pump up is not impulsive. Like this price action right here is just all corrective. It's just an all very corrective, choppy, very slow moving price action up, and then we'll get a dump. But hey, you can take that with what you will. If your strategy is different, then more power to you, to your hey Nick, has anything changed for Bitcoin? Nope, no change. What do you think it could pull back to? I don't know if you're referring to Bitcoin or Tau, TX Jeff. Jacob said we're so back. Yeah, the trader's mindset and the investor's mindset is something that's why market makers make money. They manipulate investors and they take your money. That's how the market makers make money. They manipulate you and then boom, you get the dump and you're like, ah, shit. So they just make money off you. Not only that, but what's up, Adventure Gold? How are you? I haven't seen you in the live in a bit, so good to have you back. Not only that, but when Bitcoin drops this far, this fast, it doesn't just V-shape recovery. That is true. That is true. What's the target up for Bitcoin? Once we correct to the 60 to 50K region down here. This is Bitcoin, right? Hold on. Once we correct to this zone, once we correct to the 60 to 50K region, for me, my next target's 200K. Jacob, sipping on some tequila while I wait on Trump coin. I am personally sipping on, well, I'm almost done with it now, but I am personally sipping on some bourbon. So cheers to whoever is having a glass of whatever it is that you're having a glass of. Cheers to y'all. I have a little Basil Hayden toast today. It hit the spot. Definitely hit the spot. Definitely hit the spot. We're going to go to Airbnb next. Is that Axie Infinity? Yeah, we can look at Axie Infinity. I do personally own Axie Infinity. I'm down a little bit on it right now. Richard, what's going on, man? Hell no, I just missed Tau. Short answer on what leg is Tau on. So Tau, with that complex wave 2, it has given me a lot of trouble trying to look at it just because it's so complex and it's a lot of just choppy movements. But looking at it from the bottom, I do think it will have a pullback because, again, with Bitcoin pulling back to the 60 to 50K region, that'll kind of drop everything else down with it, which, let me flip my screen on Tau. So it does look like we have an initial push off the bottom for Tau. We have this wave 1, 2, we're kind of in the 3, and then we should get a wave 4 and a wave 5. For me, once that's complete, that would be the initial wave 1 off the lows. And what we can expect next after that is an ABC corrective structure. So if I were to get into Tau, I would just wait for that, wait for this ABC structure, say it, pumps to, I don't know, 340. My next zones on it would be between 264 to 217 when Tau would basically make its ABC movement down. Typically the wave 2 retraces to the 0.5 and the 0.618, so somewhere in that zone. It really just depends on how this 5-wave movement is complete. Do we complete at 300? Do we complete at 350? Do we complete at 400? Wherever this thing completes, the next move on it will be an ABC down, and that would be a wave 1, a wave 2, and then you could ride the wave 3 next, then wave 4, and then wave 5. So that would be the initial 5-wave move of the wave 1, then you get an ABC 2, and then you get another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move up for the leg 3, then you get an ABC move down, and then you get another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move up for the wave 5. So if I was to look at getting into Tau, I would wait for this pullback 4 and then final leg 5, and then that's when I would look to position myself in Tau. Just from a risk to reward standpoint, you would wait for the wave 2 to complete and then load up and then wait for the wave 3. That would be personally what I would do. I don't own any Tau, but that would be what I would do. I think there are other assets out there that just, for me personally, I'm looking to accumulate other than Tau, because my next target on it is 1300. So from 200 to 1300, that's what, a 5 or 6x. I just see other assets out there with bigger risk to reward than Tau. So it really just depends on what you want to do. For me, MSTR is looking pretty good. Hood, for me, Hood is looking really good with one leg lower. You're going to get a 5 to 6x potential on Robinhood. So you can look at it like that. You know, where are my next zones? Well, based on this structure and what's next for Tau, you know, basically the 1300 zone is next, which is, you know, 200 is a 5x from here. But yeah, for me personally, I'm just putting my funds elsewhere. Tau is the go. Yeah, I mean, I think Tau definitely has some longevity for sure. What's going to be interesting too on like a longer time frame is once this 5-wave move is done. So what do I mean by that? Is you have this initial macro wave 1, wave 2, the wave 3 will complete around 1300, then you have a wave 4 and then a wave 5. And then you have this big ABC corrective movement correcting this entire 5-wave move. That for me is when I would buy Tau. I would wait until this 5-wave move is done. Wait for the big ABC correction. You know, say Tau gets to 3000 and this was the entire move to 3000. I would wait until, you know, this thing retraces to like 1100 or something. And then what I would do is ride up the next massive 5-wave move up to, you know, 9,000 or 10,000 or wherever this thing would go. But that would be my plan, just because I'm identifying other assets that I want to put my funds in. But this one looks pretty good. I mean, 1300 is my next target, so that's a pretty good risk to reward. Let's go look at Airbnb, because Sparsh has recommended Airbnb. I'm trying to incorporate some more stocks in here too, because obviously, you know, stocks are a little bit different than crypto. Well, Sparsh, I'm gonna be honest, there's really not much with Airbnb. If I'm being honest, there's really just this chop. I mean, let's look at it on the weekly, maybe the week. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Airbnb is just in corrective. I mean, look at all this movement. You have this big ABC, and then you have another ABC, and then another ABC, and then another ABC. I mean, there's just too much chop. This can't be a 5-wave move up, because wave 4 retraced into the territory of wave 1. So you have the wave 1, 2, 3, and then wave 4 crossed the starting point of wave 1, which means this can't be a 5, which for me, this just looks like a big A wave, B wave, C wave, another ABC, and then another ABC. So that's all corrective. I mean, this looks like a big wave A, B, and then an ABC, and then you have another ABCA, and then another ABCB, and then another, yeah, this is all corrective. So I would just, Airbnb to me doesn't look like a good investment from here. I was about to invest in Tau. What are your top 5 to 10 projects that, in your opinion, look better? I wouldn't say better. It's more of where is the higher confident trade / where do I like the risk to reward, right? It really just depends on what your time horizon is, what your risk tolerance is, what you're looking to accomplish. I mean, Robinhood for me looks really good from an investment right now. I am probably going to look to pick up Robinhood. I do have one more target, one more lower leg on Robinhood. I can show you on the daily. So this is kind of what the structure looks like on the daily. So for me, I have one more lower leg between $70 to $60 on Robinhood. And then after that, my next target is 300. So that's, you know, a what, 5 to 6x. And the structure wise just looks really clean. You have a really clean 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move up. And then we're in this ABC corrective. And just things at the $63 level are looking very, like there's a lot of high confluence stuff at the 63 level. You have the point, wait, you can't see that. Hold on. So you have the 0.618 retracement where wave 2 typically retraces right at like $63, $64. Then on the fib extension for this final leg 5 down, it's at $63. So for me, I would pick up Robinhood around 63 and then ride it to 300, which is, you know, a good 5x from there. That looks really good. MSTR from a risk to reward looks really good. Again, you have a really clean 5-wave move up for MSTR. You have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a massive ABC. My next targets on MSTR is one more leg lower between 100 to basically $100 to $80, which kind of coincides with the 0.786 on the larger time frame, but just a little bit lower. And then 962 is my next target. So from 100 to 962, I mean, that's a 9x. So that one looks really good. Bitcoin looks like a 4x from here. Ethereum looks really good. Actually, Solana looks really good from its current prices. If you look at Solana, my next target is one more leg lower on Solana. Even on the massive time frame, when you look at this, like it has a really clean 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then this wave 2, and then another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wave 1, followed by this wave 2. For me, my next targets on Solana are between $67 and $50, and then 524 is next. So that's what, a 9 to 10x on Solana. That one looks really good. Even Ethereum has like a 5, 6, 7x on the table. So I don't know. For me, that again, it's all about personal, choice. Again, assets move differently. It's really kind of just take your pick, right? Like, where do you have more confidence? What do you like better? Obviously, Tau is a newer token, meaning you only have Tau's only been around for a year, something like that. Yeah, 3 years now. So it's just a newer token. I mean, it definitely has upside potential, right? I mean, 1300 looks pretty attractive, but I don't know. For me, that's just kind of my opinion, and those would be the things that I would look at. Like Sol looks really good. Ethereum looks pretty good from its wave structure. I mean, Ethereum has like a really clean 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave movement, and then we're kind of in this sort of range chop right here, and then you have this sort of A wave, A, B, C wave, and then another A, B, C wave, C. So you have, this A wave, B wave, and C wave down, and then you have the first impulse off the lows right here, and on the daily time frame you can see it. If I'll zoom in here on the daily time frame on Ethereum, you have like this wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5, and then this big ABC wave. I do have one more leg lower on Ethereum, just coinciding with Bitcoin, being that this is the wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 leg down. So this being the A wave, the B wave, and then we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And my next target on that is between basically 1700 to 1400. As long as price doesn't retrace lower than this starting point, this would be the wave 1. This would be the wave 1, and then wave 2, and then say, for example, price retraces to the zone that I have it at. Let me get that there. So say price retraces to about 1600. My next target on it's 7000, like 7300, which is, a 5-6x. Structurally wise, it looks pretty good, but it could also outperform to 8,000, so you don't really know. But those would just be my personal opinion. Again, you don't have to agree with me, but that would be my personal opinion. XRP looks really good too. I didn't even think about XRP. XRP looks really good from right now. Yeah, I mean XRP, if you look at XRP has a really clean chart from like a structure standpoint. You have this initial wave 1, wave 2. We're in the wave 3 right now, and of the wave 3, we've had the 1, the 2, and then the next wave 3 is up to about $6. I do have one more leg a little bit lower on XRP, just coinciding with Bitcoin, but after that, $6 is next. So that's another 5-6x as well. And that's only for the wave 3, and then you have the wave 4 and then the wave 5. So for me, XRP looks really good because you have the initial wave 1, the 2, the 3 should target about $6. We'll get a pullback, and then we'll get one more leg up. And it could extend because XRP outperformed in the beginning of back in 2023. HBAR too. HBAR looks pretty good too. But again, that's my opinion. You don't necessarily have to agree with me. I just like to put my capital in places that have a good risk to reward as opposed to speculative gains. VeChain. I'm only throwing 1%. I'm only throwing 1% of my portfolio in VeChain because the risk to reward is phenomenal. But again, it's highly speculative token. But the risk to reward, I mean, we have a really, like on the weekly chart, this is a wave one. And then we have this ABC corrective structure down. My next target on VeChain is 43 cents. So I'm waiting for one more dip lower on VeChain when Bitcoin moves down. I'll be at dollar cost averaging into it and then waiting for 43 cents, which is, I don't know, what's that, a 40-50x from here? It's rebrand as a new Aruba coin. What's up, Sonny? How are you? Yeah, this is our Aruba Island 50x potential coin. Is, you know, we have the one, the ABC2, and then the wave 3 targets the 1.618 at 43 cents. Again, this is a highly speculative coin because of the market cap. It does have fundamentals going for it. I mean, it has partnerships with UFC, Dana White's involved. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on as far as partnerships and real world application. But from a technical standpoint, we have the wave 1 with the wave 2 and the wave 3 should target the 1.618 next. But I would only risk like 1 to 2% of my overall portfolio in this because, again, it's a lower market cap. This thing could go to zero. I don't think it will, but the next logical target is the 1.618 at 43 cents, which is about a 40-50x from here. So if I was going to put my money somewhere, I would say I would put, you know, maybe, it depends. Again, it depends. My goal right now, this is my goal. I'll tell you what I'm doing. So this is what I'm doing. Let me flip my screen. This is what I'm doing. So I do have a lot of other tokens, right? I do have, you know, XRP, HBAR, Bitcoin, Ethereum. Like, I do have other tokens, but hey, join the fan club. Thanks, Sonny. I appreciate that. But what I'm looking to do on these big dips right now, and the risk to reward looks really good. So I want to allocate some of my funds to just undervalued positions right now. My goal or my strategy for this next dip lower, when Bitcoin dips to 60 to 50K, when we get a dip on MSTR to 80 to 100, when we get another dip. Gav's dad, thank you for the roses, man. I appreciate that. My goal is to pick up VeChain, about 1-2% of my overall portfolio. So if you had an overall portfolio of 5,000 is hard math. Let's do 1,000. Say you had $1,000 and you're like, all right, where am I going to allocate my portfolio? Well, I would put 1% of that in VeChain. I would put 50% of that in Bitcoin, and then I'd put another 20, 30% in Ethereum. Just that would be my strategy. But my goal is to pick up VeChain, Bitcoin, MSTR, and EOS. Those are the 4 tokens. Well, 3 tokens, then 1 stock that I'm looking to pick up to add to my overall portfolio is MSTR because the risk reward looks good, the structure looks good. VeChain and EOS are speculative plays, but the structure on the charts look really good. Yes, it is a more risk to reward. You know, there is a potential chance that the thing could go to zero, but the reward on it looks really good. So I want to allocate at least 1% of my portfolio to VeChain, 1% to EOS. And both of those are suggesting a 40-50x on them. Do we get that? I mean, it's possible. But at the end of the day, I want to just have proper risk management in my overall portfolio. So MSTR will be a bigger portion just because I like it. It's a less of a risky investment. So that's my goal. But again, having a strategy, whatever your strategy is, you know, abide by your strategy. That's just mine. Finger heart. Thank you, Sonny. I appreciate that. Amazon or Walmart? We could look at Amazon. Let me scroll through some of this chat here. What else were we going to look at? Axie Infinity. That's what we were going to look at. I own. No, I don't want to co-host. Get out of here. Where's flip camera? Axie Infinity, is that AXS USD? Let's see, what do we got? Axie Infinity. Let's go to the weekly. I mean, Axie could be one of those. This almost looks like VeChain, right? You have this big run up and then the big wave 2. So far in this, it definitely looks like we've retraced way past the 0.786. I mean, look how far we've gone down. But, I mean, structurally wise, it still has good movements. I mean, we have a wave 1, a wave 2, a wave 3, a wave 4, and then this blow off top 5. So, I mean, technically speaking, we have good structure. So, hold on. This TikTok live thing has me doing this puzzle piece to keep the live going. So, I mean, we have a wave 1, a wave 2, just a massive wave 2, almost like an A wave, B wave, and then we're in the C wave. I do own Axie. I'm actually curious what this... There we go. I mean, I do think, again, we'll probably dip a little bit lower because Bitcoin will dip, so we'll probably get one more dip lower. But, I mean, that's a massive multiple. That for me seems speculative. I don't know how much confidence I would put in that, but from current prices, the next target is $500. There's no way. There's no way. Oh, there's no way. I don't know, Sonny. We might have found the moon bag here at Axie Infinity. That's a 500x. That's insane. I might have to just put a little bit more in Axie at these levels. That's actually crazy. Again, this is highly speculative, right? I mean, again, Elliott Wave Theory is geared more towards longer established tokens with price history that spans over years. But I mean, the current price of Axie Infinity is $1 right now. The next target is 500, based on this being the wave 1, the wave 2, and then we should get the wave 3 next. How much confidence I put in that? Again, I'm not going to be like one of them crypto hype boys that says the next 500x because I'm a very emotionally unbiased investor. This is going to be a highly speculative play, but it is suggesting a 500x to $500 based on the structure. I mean, time will tell, right? If we get like a massive rip up 1, 2, and a 3, this thing could definitely hit 500, but I don't know how much confidence I would put in that. Rippler, what's going on, man? This is Axie Infinity, AXS, Axie Infinity, right here. Hey, let me brighten this up so you can see it. Let me put that at maybe 7%. See what that, yeah, AXS USD. It's simply not worth that much. Yeah, I mean, again, this is just a highly speculative token, but oh, I see it. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it does say wave 1, wave 2, and then structurally wise, it has wave 3, but I would put like less confidence in this because, again, it's a lower market cap, it's highly speculative. But if you'd want to put like 1% of your portfolio, if you wanted to throw $100 at this with a chance that it could go to 500, again, not financial advice, I mean, you got a 500x potential on this. So, I mean, could it be worth the investment? Possible, but it'd be more highly speculative than anything. But we can do ICP. Yeah, we can do ICP for sure. I don't know too much about, I mean, Axie Infinity does have its game. I haven't looked at the game in a while to see like what they're, like from a fundamental standpoint, what they're doing. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. Token terminal. Give me a second. Okay, let's see if we can find it on here. On token terminal. Go to Explorer. There we go. Let me see if I can find it on here. AXS, Axie Infinity. All right, let's see. So I know you can't see all this on the phone. I just want to find the metrics. This is token terminal, by the way. This is the token turner, trading, token price. No, I want the financials. Where are the financials? Fees. I mean, they've generated 1.4 billion in fees, but that obviously has gone down. Let's do last 365. I mean, they've generated in the past 365 days, they've generated 4.7 million in fees. Revenue, does it have revenue on here? I mean, the revenue is 4.7 million in the last 370 days. Active addresses. I mean, we've had a huge spike in addresses. Oh, well, I mean, recently, last 3 years, let's go last 180 days. I mean, we've had a decline in addresses now to about 8.5K. So, I mean, I guess it's 11th in terms of the gaming sector for active addresses. So that's not necessarily bad. So it's got some potential. But it really just is going to developer activity. It had some. Actually, let's go back. Let's see. AXS metrics. Let me see if I can find development, core developers, code commits, Doesn't have any last 365. They've been 112 code commits with little blips here and there. Core developers. I mean, that basically states some of this data is not necessarily as accurate. They do updates on Token Terminal, but it's not like super accurate, which is the thing. Earthly Hen. Is that Earthly Hen vibes? Thank you for the, what was that? A heart? Oh, and the goat? Thank you. I mean, it's got some stuff going for it, but until we get some impulsive waves off these lows, it's more of a speculative play than anything. XRP. Yeah, my next target on XRP is about $6. But let's go to, what was it? Amazon? Someone requested Amazon on, this was on YouTube. Someone requested Amazon. I mean, Amazon, again, has longer price history, so we're going to look at the 3-month and see kind of what we're working with here. So this is and this is a log chart, so it looks different, but this is the log chart of Amazon. I mean, we do, let's see. I mean, this almost looks like, I mean, this is definitely a wave 1 and a 2. Now the question is, where does the wave 3, 4, 5 end? Let's go to monthly. All right, so we definitely have a wave 1 with a wave 2. Now this looks like a wave 1 with this sort of A, B, C structure too. And then we have, so wave 1, wave 2. Then we have this wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with the 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with the 5. So that could be the wave 1, 2, an extended third wave, the 4, and then almost a 5th wave here. Yeah, because that'd be a wave 1, wave 2. How far? That extended far. But it makes sense based on the structure. You just have an extended third wave. We have the 1, 2, the 3, 4. Let me make sure that looks... I mean, it kind of looks like that on the 3-month too. We just have an extended third wave, which is a massive extended third wave, but, and then we have the wave 2 or 4 in 2022. Let's see how far that retraced. It's about the 0.5, 0.618. Yeah, because wave 1, wave 2, wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the wave 4, and then we're in the 5th leg. So let's go down to the monthly on this current leg. Typically, it retraces to the point. I mean, we're kind of right there for the 5th leg, because the price typically retraces to the 1.618 on wave 5. But we need to make sure that there's 5 subwaves in here. So let's see what we got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, that definitely looks like we could have topped for Amazon. We have this wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5, and this could be an A wave, B wave, then a C wave lower. And that would complete the structure. And structurally wise, it makes sense, because if this is the top for wave... Yeah, I mean, we topped right at the 1.618 of the fib extension of wave 4. And I mean, it does have 5 small subwaves of it. We have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this looks like an A wave, B wave, and a C wave. Now, I want to look at this to see if this is impulsive. If this has 5 subwaves in it, then this is not a wave B, but it looks like a wave B. Okay, so for me, Amazon's topped. We have, this looks like the A wave, then we have an A, B, C wave, and then another A wave, then a B wave, then a C wave. And then right now we almost have an A wave, B wave, and we're in the C wave down. Yeah, I mean, Amazon looks to have topped, to be honest, because everything's fulfilled based on the Elliott Wave Theory on the monthly time frame, you know, on the very large time frame for Amazon. If we look at it from like a grand macro view, you have a 1, a massive correction 2, a big extended third wave, a 4, and a 5. And it looks weird when you look at this chart, because you're like, well, you know, it's just a log chart. It just makes things disproportional to size. I don't really know how to explain. It just allows you to see the entire price action. Because even this wave 3, I mean, this thing extended over 2.618 times the length of wave 1. Even better than 4.618. I mean, it extended really far, but structurally wise, that makes sense. So yeah, we're kind of just waiting for somewhere in this region. Oh, shit, I messed that up. Fuck. Hold on. Give me 2 seconds. We're kind of waiting for this thing to retrace. Okay, let me zoom in on this here. So we're kind of waiting for this thing to retrace. From this wave, I mean, we have the wave 5, then we have the A wave, the B wave, and then we should get a C wave. Somewhere between the 0.382 and the 0.618 is a good bottoming zone for Amazon. Let me move this into frame so you can see it. So somewhere between like 151 to 93 is a good bottoming zone for Amazon, and that would be the completion of an entire 5-wave move, which means what next is a massive multi-year run. So we have the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5, and then after that you get an ABC down, and then after that we get another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over, you know, a potential 10-year period. So I would wait for Amazon to bottom, and then this thing's going to go pretty good. I mean, based on the structure, that's what I would wait for. It definitely looks like we've topped here, and then we should expect a decline. ICP, yeah, we can do it ICP. Highly speculative, I'd say that's a crazy drop from all-time high. Yeah, I mean, for Axie Infinity, highly speculative, big drop. I mean, definitely take that information with what you will, but it's definitely highly speculative for sure. Where is the top on Bitcoin? My next target's 200K. VIP premium signals channel available for free. Link in bio. I wouldn't click that bio, folks. I don't really know what that is. But join for free signals. All right, get out of here, King of Gold. This is my TikTok live. You want to go on TikTok live? Go to your own. Don't. Thanks, Nick. Yeah, absolutely. Let's go to ICP, and then we'll do IONQ. Oh, Neo. I think. Oh, wait, no. I think I know which Neo you're talking about. Are you talking about the car company Neo? No, that's NIO. What am I talking about? That's a different one. ICP. I own ICP. I do. But this there was nothing to do here, Rippler, unfortunately. We don't have any impulses on ICP. Until we get that, we're just in corrective structure. I do think this will bottom with Bitcoin. But, I mean, if we look at the chart, right, there's not a lot of price action to help us of what's next. I do think we probably, you know, either bottom soon, you know, maybe we have one more dip lower with my big, you know, if Bitcoin goes down, most altcoins will go down, but we're waiting for a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move off the bottom. You could see here, it's just one big A, B, C correction. I mean, this thing, who knows what this thing will do next, right? You could get a massive wave 1 with a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5. But realistically speaking, we just got to wait for price action to kind of have these impulses off the low. Yeah, absolutely. Ethereum, or did I already miss it? We did Ethereum earlier. My next target on Ethereum, 7,500. Can we add Tesla to the stock list? Yeah, let's do Tesla. We can do Tesla. INOQ. INOQ. Did we look at this one already? I thought we did. I can't remember. I thought we looked at INOQ. I can't remember. I mean, on the weekly chart, let me get everything in here. Let's see. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's weird. I mean, it looks like we have like a wave 1, a wave 2, maybe this wave 3, wave 4, and then a wave 5. And then we have this wave 2. And then we have this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But this can't be a wave 4 right here, because if this is a wave 1, a wave 2, a wave 3, this can't be a wave 4 because it retraces into the territory of wave 1. Which would mean this was a 1, this was a 2, and then it looks like we're having an extended third wave developing, meaning this is the 1 of 3. And then, I mean, this looks like an ABC structure up and another ABC. So it almost looks like this. Let me label it. We have the initial wave 1. We have the initial wave 2. We're in the 3. Then we get a 4 and a 5. Let me move these over just so they're out of the way. It almost looks like we have an extended third wave developing, which is pretty bullish for stocks when you have an extended third wave. But we have a 1. This is almost like an A wave, a B wave up, and then a C wave. So you're going to have a wave 2 here. Then you'll have a wave 3, a wave 4, and then a wave 5 of this third wave. And then let me change the color of this and change just the style of it. So you're kind of this is kind of what the structure looks like. Is you have the initial wave 1, you have the wave 2, and then you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave 3. That's what it looks like, because this can't be a wave 4 because it invalidates that wave 1. So it does look like we have an extended third wave developing. Now the next target on it would be this. Oh, wrong tool. Sorry. This would be the wave 1, and then kind of the 2 starts down here, because I went and started down here because we're still in the corrective movement. But the next target on it, if the bottom was already in, would be $100. Would be the next target for the wave 3, and then you would get a wave 4, and then you get a wave 5 of wave 3. So that's kind of structurally what it looks like. Is we have the 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But of this structure right now, how far we bounced for the A wave here, then we retraced up, and then we're kind of coming down. I mean, it does look like we have the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave developing. And yeah, because this is definitely the A wave, then we have the ABC wave for the B wave, then we have this ABC developing, and then on the daily time frame, A wave, B wave, C wave, and then we have this ABC, ABCB, and then B, and then 1, 2, 3. Does that invalidate 4? So it almost looks like we have an A wave, a B wave, and then we almost have this 1, 2, 3, 4, and then like 5 developing. So there's probably one more dip, and then $100 is next. That would be my targets for this. Do you think the coin Heroes of Mabia has explosive potential like Axie? I've heard of that before. Isn't it like a crypto Clash of Clans type thing, Rippler? Isn't it like kind of like Clash of Clans but for crypto? Please do Neo USD. Yeah, we can look at that. Yep. I don't know too much about it from a fundamental standpoint, if I'm being honest. I mean, it could, but again, it's a newer token, newer project. You know, it's going to be highly speculative. I think with tokens like that, you know, I would definitely only recommend 1% of your overall portfolio, because that's what I do for like highly speculative stuff. Because you obviously want to get, you know, exposure to some of these things that could do, you know, bigger multiples, but it's all about risk. But it's all about risk to return, right? Like, where can I park my money with less risk but a higher return? So that's kind of how I always try to treat it. Is okay, where can I put my money that I might be able to not risk that much, but also get a high return? Let me see if we have one up here. Okay, so for me, this has a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5. So that to me does look like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move up, and then we just have this massive corrective structure. I mean, this one kind of looks like almost like Tau to some extent, where you have like this big rip up, and then you have like this big rip up, and then you have this A, B, C type structure. And of the C, it looks like we've had an A, B, C, A, and then an A, B, C, B, and then an A, B, C, and then we're kind of in the C. Again, if Bitcoin goes down to the 60, 50K target that I'm targeting, we probably have one more dip lower on here. But using this as our sort of structure, the next target on it would be, is that 317? Yeah, 317 would be the next target. I don't know too much about this project from a fundamental standpoint, but from a structure standpoint, with this being the wave 1, 2, and then 3 should target the 1.618. That's at like 307, like 317, 307. I mean, that's what, 150x from here, just about, 100x. Again, these are more highly speculative tokens, right? Like they're less market cap, so it all depends on how much traction this gets. But structurally wise, you have a wave 1, wave 2, and the wave 3 is next. I wouldn't go, risking a ton on this because again, it's more highly speculative than anything. But from a risk to reward standpoint, maybe you throw $100 in here, and that thing could potentially rip. Add Tesla. Let's do Tesla. Yeah, we can look at Tesla. Tesla. Let's go to the 3-month. Whoops. I mean, on Tesla looks actually pretty clean. You have this wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and we're currently in the 5. Yeah, that would make sense. Now let's go to the monthly. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're kind of in the 5th. But of the 5th, what have we had so far? Because this looks like a wave, an A, B, C, C wave, and then a C wave. Okay, so that could be the A, B, C, 4, and then we're in the 1, 2, and then we're kind of in the 3. But let's go to the weekly. And my next target on Tesla would be, I just want to see if we've already overshot that, or... So this would be the top. Yeah, because this would be the A wave, the B wave, and this looks like a C wave here. So my next target on Tesla would be 584, but it does look like we could potentially overshoot that just because this looks like an impulsive wave 1 with the 2, and then we've had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me see. Yeah, but that structure looks weird. I mean, we're definitely in a 5th wave. It's just a matter of, are these waves impulsive or corrective is the thing I'm trying to determine. Because this can't be a wave 1, 2, 3, because this would be a 4. So maybe this is an ABC with this, and then this would be wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5. Then wave 2, and then this would be a... This isn't impulsive at all. This is 3-wave movements. Yeah, I mean, Tesla looks weird. I mean, we definitely have an impulsive wave 1 here, but Tesla just looks funky because this structure right here on Tesla, this doesn't look impulsive at all. Like, it just looks like a bunch of ABC and then an ABC, which we could actually still be in wave 2. The real true impulse happens here. So we get the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we get the wave 2. And then we're kind of waiting for wave 3. But there's really no... Hold on. I mean, the next target on Tesla would be right around 660. That would be my next target on Tesla. Meaning this would be the wave 1, the wave 2, and then we're in the wave 3. But we are currently in on a monthly time frame, on a macro time frame on Tesla. We are in a wave 5. So essentially what that means is we have this big structure here. We have the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, and then we're in the 5th. And then what comes next is an ABC down, and it'll correct this entire move. So, say we top out at, I don't know, 700. The next zones would be 450 to 283. So we would have this wave 1, and then you'd have an you'd have an ABC down towards basically 250 to or 450 to 283. So I would say because we're in the fifth leg, upside in terms of like a massive multi-year wave move are limited because we've already had a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're in the fifth. And what comes after that is an ABC down, and then you get another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over the span of 5 to 10 years, maybe even more, because this started in 2012, probably going to complete here in the next whatever amount of years it takes to top, and then you'll get an ABC, and then you'll have another 10-year move to the upside, which will be a massive move. What time is it? Is it almost 9? Is it 7:49 or is it almost 8? What time is it? Let me take my it's 8:49. Wow, we went longer today than we did usually. Finish my last little sip of bourbon here. But yeah, I would say upside is limited on Tesla just because we're in the wave 5. So again, that's why I try to look at stocks and say, or stocks or crypto and say, okay, where's the best risk to reward opportunity? Am I going to put money in Tesla now because it's in the fifth wave, or am I going to put money in MSTR, Robinhood, Bitcoin, Ethereum, like other assets that have already completed a 5-wave move and are currently almost done with their ABC correction? So you're trying to think of ways where to put money that you can hold for, another 1 to 5 years or 10 years even, and make massive gains. Where, based on Tesla, I just think from a risk to reward standpoint, I would wait for the correction down. Even like SoFi, I know people like to look at SoFi. For me, SoFi, like I get questions about it all the time, but the risk reward on SoFi is pretty limited too, because we've already had like this wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're currently in the fifth. So there's just limited upside potential where, after this fifth completes, we'll get the ABC down. And that's where I would invest, is here, and then wait for the next, what's that? Multi-year, like, 2 to 5 year run, maybe, I don't know, 3 to 10 year run where you have this going from 2024, maybe this completes by 2027, you get the ABC, and then you get another, boom, massive move that spans about 5 years. TikTok, you think crypto has one more? I do, yeah. Based on the structure of Bitcoin, we'll end with Bitcoin because it is. I wasn't planning on going this late actually, but the conversation and the bourbon was very good today, so I'll take that with what it is. But yeah, I still do think we have one more leg lower on Bitcoin. We'll end with Bitcoin and then we'll pick up tomorrow with some of the other assets that were requested. But let's finish off with Bitcoin because that's ultimately the driver of most of the crypto market. Again, my targets haven't changed for Bitcoin. It's still the 60 to 50K region for the 1.618 extension of wave 4, meaning this wave 4 and then wave 5. Again, this week is going to be volatile, guys. FOMCs this week. I don't remember what other economic data. Let me go to Forex Factory. Let me see what other data is supposed to come out this week. So we have, where's the week? I want the week. So to March 15th, we got nothing. So we have CPI on tomorrow. So we got CPI tomorrow. We got all this crap. We got the cash, this Australian. So this is Canadian. Monday, March 16th, we have Canadian CPI. We'll see what they do. Then Tuesday, we have, what do we got? Not a bunch of stuff. And we have the pending home sales, the orange folder. Then we got Wednesday. Look at Wednesday. Wednesday's going to be a volatile as shit day. We have PPI on 8:30 in the morning. We have Canadian rate statement and their overnight rate. We have the Canadian Bank of Canada press conference. Then we have our interest rate decisions at 2, and then we have Powell speaking at 2:30 on Wednesday. And then we have some stuff for like New Zealand, Japan policy rate, and New Zealand GDP. And then Thursday, we have Bank of Japan press conference. Let's see, where else? I guess we have some Euro stuff. And then Friday, yeah, look at Wednesday. It's going to be volatile as shit. We got core PPI, PPI, and then the Fed conversation. So this week's going to be super volatile, guys. And That volatility brings more risk. It could fuel the leg down for this wave 3. Given if 74,750 holds, this level right here, 74,750. If that level holds, that would mean for me this would be the ABCW, the ABCX, and then the ABCY. This is the initial wave 1, followed by a deep retracement wave 2. The wave 3 would be next, then the wave 4, and then the wave 5. Now, if that holds, the next target is 60K. With this volatility, it can get an extension, but 60K is the logical target. We could also retrace to the 2 or the 2.618, which is at 57 or 51. If price decides to do a wave 3 to the 1.618, then we'll get a pullback and then we'll get another wave 5. Again, wait till the price action comes about. This is going to be a volatile week, so we'll see what happens. But structurally wise, nothing has changed, meaning this entire expanding flat wave C structure has not changed at all. We've had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave 1, an ABC2, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3. This complex ABCD complex structure wave 4. Then we've had a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we need one more leg lower. Until this final dip happens, the next probable outcome due to the structure of this 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 leg down movement is lower. I'm not trying to say that to scare you. I'm not trying to say that to get you to feel some type of way. I'm just going based off of Elliott Wave Theory and the structure. And structurally wise, we have one more dip lower. Once that happens, my next target is up and 200K. But you're basically saying if Bitcoin breaks and holds above 74,100, so then this is invalidated. No, the only thing that would be invalidated is this. Let me zoom in. So if 74 075, like 7450, like if we go to 74,100 essentially, if we go to 74,100, the only thing that's invalidated is this being an initial wave 1 and wave 2, meaning this being a wave 1 and a wave 2. If this is invalidated, that means that wave 4 is still in corrective mode, meaning this is just one complex correction and then we get the dip lower. So ideally in a scenario where we want the fastest possible outcome, we want this to be a wave 1 and this to hold so that we can get the wave 3, 4, 5. Because once we get the 3, 4, 5, the structure is done. If price invalidates this, all that means is this isn't a wave 1, it's purely an A wave. We get a B wave bounce, then we get a C wave, then we probably get another A, B, C up, and then we get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. So if we can have this level hold and we drop to 600, that's a key sign. The key indicator is going to be on the smaller time frame. Is this a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move down on the smaller time frame? If it is an ABC movement down, all that means for me is this is a wave A, this is a wave B, this is a wave C, and then we should expect an ABC upwards, and then a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move down. So there's two different things I'm tracking. If this gets invalidated, obviously that's more clear, but if we get a 3-wave move down like that, that's not good because that just means further corrections on the table. The big level that we want to look out for to see if this is invalidated is 87,193, right up here at the wave 1, which would mean this entire 5-wave structure is invalidated. And even if we pump up to 78, 83, 85, we're not invalidated yet, and we should expect a dump lower. So ideally, we want this to be the wave 3 so we can get the wave 4 and wave 5, and then boom, we start the reverse to 200K. I think we grind up from here. Most will be left on the sidelines because everyone expecting lower. I somewhat agree with you, Buddha, but I definitely disagree just based on the structure. Again, my lows aren't what everyone else is expecting. I think what everyone else is expecting is you have a little grind up lower and then a dump to 30K. I'm not in that camp. I'm in the camp of this 60 to 50K region is the bottom, and then 200K is next. So it's more so a short-term bottom and then a long-term pump, where I think a lot of people are expecting this to bounce and then drop to 30K. I don't see that. What if we're still in wave 4 and it passed 74K? Yeah, if it passed 74K, then we're still in wave 4, Lance. How long do you think one would expect to stay in the low price you think is coming approximately? If we compare the cycle low to 2028, it could be around 6 months. again, I don't really go off of like past fractals. While those can provide guides, they tend to potentially confuse people because everyone's expecting the history to repeat itself. While history does, repeat in some proportion, it definitely doesn't provide the same outcome. So if you're expecting a 2023 or a 2022 or similar price action, it's going to look very different each time. So I guess take that with what you will. But for me, this structurally wise, between 60 to 50K is my bottoming zone. Does that take a month? Does it take 2 months? Does it take 3 months? Does it take 6 months? However long it takes us to complete this move. However long it takes for us to complete this move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. However long it takes is what it takes until we complete a 5-wave move like this to the downside. Structurally wise, this isn't complete. So, kind of take that with what you will, but as long as until we complete this, we're not done with the structure. So we're not done with the 5th leg. So that could take 6 months, it could take a month, it just depends. What's the logic behind your take tank? Why would it go low? That structure, just Elliott Wave structure. That's, again, if you look at the whole structure, we have the ABCA wave, the ABCA, ABCB, and then an ABCC for a B wave. Then we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're in the 5th. And of the 5th so far, we've only had a 1, 2, 3, 4, and we still need a 5. In a long since 62 today, should I close the position? I mean, that's personally up to you. Again, I don't like to give my opinion would be based on what I'm seeing. I mean, my thing is we're gonna see lower. I can't really I would rather give you more of an opinion than advice because legally I can't provide an opinion. If you would have asked me like years ago when I had my series licenses, I could provide investment advice. I just don't have those anymore because I moved out of that profession when I was young, so I can't legally provide you advice. But based on the chart and the structure, I'm expecting a 5-wave move down. So take that with what you will. I mean, if you're in since 62K, I'd like to think that you're probably in pretty decent profit, with a 10K swing. So, take that with what you will. Well, this was the last chart of the day. I'll be doing chart requests tomorrow because I'm probably going to log off here for the night. It's around 9 o'clock. So I'm probably going to log off here tonight with Bitcoin being the last request, but we can certainly jump into some more tomorrow. I'll be live at the same time, 6 to 6:30 p.m. I'll be live tomorrow. And or 6 to 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. I'll be live tomorrow, and then we can cover some more charts. But yeah, I wish I could give you some more advice on that. I mean, me personally, I would probably close out the long now, just because. I mean, you could still ride it if you wanted to, but given the structure and where we're at, I think if you're going to open a long, which is what I might do, is I'm going to wait for the 5-wave move down because it's a better risk to reward. And when we hit the 60 to 50K region, if I see 5 subwaves, for me, that would be more of a trigger to say, okay, the structure is fulfilled. We have a 5-wave movement down. We've completed the 5th. All right, now's a better risk to reward to take along because I have a less chance of being liquidated, if that makes sense. Because the price moves down to, I don't know what your liquidation levels are, but if price moves down to, 58 or 56, you might get liquidated. Whereas I would wait until we get a 5-wave move down first, then open a long, and then ride it up because the risk to reward just seems better. Cool, thanks. Yeah, absolutely. We'll take some look at some charts tomorrow. Thank you for everything. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely, guys. I appreciate it, buddy. Have a good week, man. You too. Have a good start to your Monday. For all those that are waking up to grind the 9 to 5, have a good start to your Monday morning. I know it's not, what everyone wants to be doing, but you got to do what you got to do, right? For sure, legend. Absolutely. 60K. Let me see. I started short at 70K. Do I keep that trade? I mean, from a risk to reward standpoint, it's a decent entry. Based on the structure, I do see more downside. So I think my opinion would be keep it, but it depends on what your liquidation price is. Because price could obviously, reverse and move past 74K, which would then liquidate you. Again, the better risk to reward trade for me would be wait for the 1 through 5 move down and then low on the bottom. 60K, what's the up target? 200K would be my next target after we hit the bottom here. 200K is my next target. night. Cheers, Sonny. I appreciate the support and thank you for the roses today. Adventure Gold, thank you for the rose too. Great live, Nick. Have a wonderful night. Sad about Auburn. I was pulling from. Yeah, man, I'm pissed. We got snubbed. I'm pissed. I wish Auburn would have made it, but it is what it is. We will keep asking these questions to keep you 3 hours more. I appreciate that, Ash. I appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, I'll be live same time tomorrow. Joey, what's going on? If it breaks 87K, why does it become invalidated? Because it's at wave C on weekly, right? No, so if it hits 87K, what that would mean is this wave 1 is invalidated. So if we go above 87K, the wave 1 is invalidated, which means this can't be a wave 3 and this can't be a wave 4. So that's the reason 87K. Are whales trying to purposely get retailers to sell so they can buy cheaper? I mean, it's possible. I mean, the only way that whales can fulfill positions are if there's enough liquidity for them to fulfill it. And when I say liquidity, is it, if they're trying to buy, they need an equal amount of sell orders. So how do big dogs fulfill a huge position? Well, you got to get retail or, people to sell their positions to them. So while they're buying, retail selling it to them, fulfilling their order. So it's definitely possible, but I don't really trade based on that stuff or invest based on that stuff. For me, I just try to keep it simple because investing and trading is as really hard as it is. So if I can keep things as simple as I can and just identify patterns and structures and go off of a theory that stood the test of time, that for me is kind of the easiest way for me to do it. And Elliott Wave Theory was my perfect stuff. So with that being said, I will see y'all tomorrow. Get your brackets in before Thursday. Maybe we'll do something. March Madness is on Thursday, so I may not go live on Thursday because March Madness games. I'm obsessed with March Madness. So I may not. Thanks, man, for you're the best. I appreciate that, Jex. Is that Jex? Jex, I appreciate that, man. I will see you tomorrow, 6 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Take care of yourself. You too, Ash. Q54. What do you think will outperform the next wave of Soul Age? Hard to tell. I mean, Soul looks to be like an 8 to 10x. H-bar, I'd have to look at it. We can look at it tomorrow. We'll look at those tomorrow. Sui looks to be about an 8x too, so they look pretty good. But we'll look at that tomorrow. I will see y'all tomorrow. Have a good rest of your night.